Baby doll gets in the room and closes the door, breathing heavily. She says they almost died out there. A swift hand slides over her back as a voice tells her the world is ending. So why don't we do it one last time? That cucked boyfriend of yours wouldn't do shit even if he found out. But then she notices the thirsty blonde guy has a bite mark on his forearm and asks, what is that? Rot your shrugs. Nothing big, just one of those crazy guys out there bit my arm. And this lobotomized hoe actually accepts it. The football match begins. Balls hitting the field. But shortly after, the guy stops moving. He doesn't have that Cristiano Ronaldo stamina. She asks why he's not moving. Yeah, the obvious happened. He turned into a zombie and is about to eat her again. She kicks him away. From outside, a Sung Jin-woo look like hears the noise and thinks to himself, wait, isn't that the voice of the girlfriend of the old owner of this body? He goes to take a look and stares with cold, menacing eyes like me trying to hold my laugh when my bro makes a racist joke. The lobotomized blondie looks at Sub-Eye and begs for forgiveness, screaming and shouting. But bra just slowly closes the door while enjoying her screams. That Kira asks, smile on his face. He's thinking a girl who cheats like that deserves this. This dude hates cheaters. In his past life, he was on that Chinese sword immortal vibe. He was about to become a literal god when suddenly one of his disciples, let's call her White Panties, showed up just to stop him from leveling up, telling him to pay for his sins. Before he could react, another one came from behind, hugged him tightly and pressed 2 bombs against his back. That was another disciple complaining that her master had treated her unfairly all those years. Ra decided to take them all with him, only to get hit by the skills of yet another disciple. Clearly, he should have chosen his peers based on loyalty instead of just thighs and ass. Not gonna lie, I would have made the same mistake though. After the triple betrayal, he went full Joker one last time and flattened half the earth. I'll tell my son that's how the dinosaurs went extinct. Then he woke up in that apartment from the beginning. Now we know why this dude calmly closed the door and left the lobotomized girl to die. What he doesn't know is that soon enough, he'll find all his beloved disciples in this place, giving him the perfect chance to get revenge on those cannon fodder carriers. But right now, he looks outside and says he knows nothing about this strange cement city. After arriving here in the body of this cuck, the only thing the infamous system gave him was this 10,000 souls bear that lets him control the things he kills. It's trash compared to the weapons he used to carry, so he throws it to the ground while cursing. That's when he remembers 2 perfect trash targets nearby, the 71 IQ duo that devoured each other in every conceivable way. So he opens the door and with a single clean stab, puts them both to sleep. The banner activates and the duo starts getting eaten once more. Blondie girl already got eaten 3 times in one chapter. Outside, the street is infested with zombies. The protagonist is itching to fight zombies everywhere, and the wig banquet is trying to run away. Big Mac girl gets jealous and shoves the skinny girl backward, and she drops beautifully onto the ground. Okay, skinny might be me getting carried away. And the protagonist is watching from a distance and recognizes her instantly. Lin Wanchu, the queen of the White Panties. The problem is, there's a whole crowd of zombies between him and her. But he wants to know what Wanchu is doing there. That woman can only die by his hands, not by those monsters. So he throws the spear into a zombie, jumps right after it, catches it mid-air, drives it straight through the creature's belly and it drops dead. Wanchu is shaking, stunned that she's still alive. She wonders if this strange man really saved her, but the protagonist says that the damn woman used that thunder technique to leave him in a miserable state, and now she shows up in front of him like a total failure, almost dying to a creature that weak. She's completely confused, not understanding what he's talking about. She stands up and thanks him for saving her, and the creator's shading is still flawless. The protagonist gives her this half glare and puts the spear right in her face, asking if she's going to keep pretending she's clueless. She grabs the spear tip and pushes it away, telling him this isn't the time for drama. What is he even talking about? She doesn't even know him. He wonders if he got it wrong, but remembering the White Panties queen side by side, he's sure it has to be her. He knows those curves way too well, and he's ready to investigate. Then his stomach growls and she says she knows a place with food. He thinks for a second, apocalypse. He's human. He needs to eat, so fine, he'll let her come with him. But she grabs his arm and tells him to hurry up. It's like they're having the time of their lives, like they're in a playground and not in the middle of the apocalypse. The protagonist just stares, thinking the fact that she betrayed him never changed and she's going to pay for it. In front of the market, she says it all happened so fast, she didn't even ask his name. He starts to realize it really does seem like she doesn't know much. But he tells her his name while thinking she's not leaving his side. He's going to make her suffer in every possible way. She walks ahead and opens the door, but obviously the place is packed with undead. She freezes, asking why there are so many creatures in there. Weirdly, in the middle of the zombies, there's one saying to buy a phone SIM card for 50% off. The monsters start standing up, waving their arms, scratching around to scare them. But the protagonist is just smiling. 1Q clings to him, saying they should run and get out fast. But he says he needed a sacrifice to get his banner to level 2. It's the perfect chance to test the item's abilities. The banner flies out and summons the 2 zombies he killed in the room. But now as slaves, they charge in and bite other zombies right in the neck. It's zombie versus zombie, and there's even some synergy. A blue one goes for the blonde zombie. He dodges, kicks it in the back. It falls toward the girl zombie and she blows it up in the middle. The protagonist sees a bigger red one leaping in with claws and tells his 2 to fall back. But his zombies get completely wrecked. He doesn't have much spiritual energy, and he uses what little he has left to resummon them and sends them in again. This time he sends the blonde one first. He takes a stab through the arrow, but it creates an opening for the other one to latch onto the mutant's back. The protagonist activates a chain spell, and she bites the creature's neck. It drops dead. The protagonist walks up and activates the spiritual link. A bunch of chains surround the mutant. Lift it up, yank everything out. The spear glows, and the weapon levels up to level 2. Now 5 souls can be summoned. The system warns that to keep leveling up, he'll need to collect an advanced level zombie. The protagonist knows that if it's more advanced than that, he'll probably starve before he finds one. Meanwhile, Lynn, all excited, is basically falling for a guy she doesn't even know is dying to kill her. She says she's useless and thanks him. The protagonist agrees, saying yes, she's useless and she's stupid. Now, then a bald guy shows up with half a dozen survivors. Wang Yu clings to the protagonist. One of the survivors mouths off, "Hey, we got here first. Are you crazy?" The group agrees, saying everything there belongs to them. The girl in the mini shorts defends the protagonist, saying he did the dirty work. But the gang says he's lying. The monsters fought each other so clearly he didn't do anything. Lynn throws a fit, saying those bastards are trying to steal the protagonist's credit. She's almost crying for an angry yelling when the protagonist tells her not to worry. Only the weak need reasons. The strong create the reasons. Basically, even if he's wrong, he'll do what he wants. He walks up to them and says he wants supplies. Who's going to stop him? Just say it. They get bold. Everyone yelling, "I'm against it. You're not taking a damn thing from here." The protagonist smiles and says, "All right." Then he summons the Tamiya version of Bureau. Before they can do anything, he sends it straight at them. They're shaking, saying they don't want to die begging. For a second, I thought he was just going to scare them. But no, he really tears people in half. He kills a few, then asks again, "Who doesn't want me to take the supplies?" Everyone goes quiet, real quiet. Then he turns to Wang Yu and tells her to learn. That's how it's done. Now, nobody to soap eyes. She focuses and says she understands. But what I don't understand is why she's down on the floor, straddling the supplies, rubbing all over them. "Girl, stop grinding on people's food for the love of God." The protagonist tells her she's carrying everything since he saved her. And with that half-lidded stare, he says he can't wait to find out if she's really pretending or if she actually has amnesia. Either way, he's going to make her suffer. But she's all excited, gathering supplies, saying she'll carry it all for him. Dude, you already got betrayed once and you're going to believe it again? I don't know if I buy that she forgot everything. I think she might remember, honestly. But there she is with her tone, stomach, and mini shorts saying she's ready to go. The protagonist tells her to come on. He's looking for stronger zombies and she's carrying the supplies later. Losers, the survivors are furious. Damn, that guy came in here, killed everyone and robbed us. The remaining survivors try to grab what's left in the room. But then the protagonist's zombie couple shows up, telling them to get their hands off what belongs to him. Nobody cares anymore and it turns into a fight over who can grab more supplies. Kicking each other, everyone playing rock, paper, scissors. Then one of them looks back, pissed off. But he doesn't like what he sees because he gets spooked. Wonders what that is doing there and more zombies have arrived. Wow, dude. Everybody got absolutely shredded. What is this? Now another Big Mac was crying for help over there and then just got its head stomped in. Dude, the main guy killed everyone just to absorb their souls. What is this? What is this? This kid is ruthless, huh? He doesn't forgive anyone. He says leaving those seeds that hate him alive is only going to cause problems later. It just sucks that he's so weak he has to keep a low profile. Meanwhile, the other girl is over there looking like a total mess, all sweaty. Man, what a shame she's completely worn out. It's almost like I'm only saying that so you'll sit there staring at the image for a bit. Alright, that's enough. That looks like she's pissed because the protagonist is walking too fast. I'm just saying if she slows down she really is going to get left behind. She laughs and says she's sure he didn't want to abandon her. Damn, look at that test. He's getting tested right now. He asks why she's so sure they're basically strangers, like he wouldn't leave her behind. Then she says she won't get abandoned because she has information about a really strong zombie and she's sure he'd be he interested? And yeah, he is. He immediately asks if any. So she says she wasn't at the university today because there was a weird creature on campus. It had a strange smell and seemed kind of dangerous. She's there with her fingers pressed together begging him to believe her while he's thinking, well, she's not lying. And since he really does need a creature to evolve, it's worth checking out. At the university, it's packed with zombies and the scary cat is there too. The protagonist starts saying something, but she tells him to shut up, saying there are a lot of creatures there and they can't hear them. But he doesn't care at all. He pulls out the spear and slams it into the ground. He tells the three summons to clear the way while the girl is wondering if this is really the best approach, just killing everything. He doesn't even answer her. He's just wondering if everyone who gets killed by zombies really turns into those half-live creatures. Suddenly, they hear screaming, leaning against a wall. There's a trio telling the creatures not to come closer. One of the monsters lunges. The guy stretches out his big axe, but not only does he lose the axe, he also gets it stuck in his shoulder, completely useless. The zombie obviously is still alive and then it lunges again. Someone blocks the attack and smashes it right in the middle of the head. The guy is yelling for everyone to fall back. They needed to regroup. These things were way above their level. Wang Yu recognizes them as Gyumi and Lai Mingxuan. But what were they doing in a place like this? The protagonist asks why that matters. Does she think he's going to save those people? She grabs his hand and starts running. He's kind of confused. Wait. You don't want to save them? She says. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the strength to rescue her classmates. He thinks she really doesn't seem to remember anything because she used to be strong, so where did her strength go? I'll tell you where it went. But then suddenly the classmates spot them from far away and start yelling her name. Wang Yu, help please. We're going to get eaten and killed. She's thinking this bastard is trying to drag the two of them down with everyone else. Or maybe it's because they pass like half a meter away from the creatures that idiot Lin notices and apologizes to the protagonist, saying it's her fault. She really is messing up his life. But he pulls out the spear and summons the three souls. The creatures rush in, handing out slashes, hits, bites, but there are so many that his monsters start getting grabbed like The Walking Dead. A bite to the neck and he loses one, so now he can only control two. He realizes he needs to thin out the zombies so he can summon more. The problem is, first thing you need a chance to escape. He suddenly asks Wang Yu if she has anything that can make a loud sound. She thinks for a second and shows her phone. He doesn't get it at first, but when she hits play and the music starts, he understands. She tosses it over the creatures and it grabs their attention for a second. But then from the phone thing, he summons that clawed creature. Don't ask me how, and sends it in. It attacks and tears through everything with chains, ripping people apart. She's shocked that such a dumb distraction worked. But he just says they don't have time to think. He grabs her arm and drags her away. In another part of the school, she's exhausted on the floor like she just stepped out of the shower. She says once again she owes him. If it weren't for him, she'd be dead. He says it doesn't matter. They need to locate that high-ranking zombie fast. But then we see some other people come in through the door too, and she manages to hide. The greedy ones get all excited. What's you? This is great. You brought a bunch of supplies and saved everyone. They start surrounding her from all sides, and these guys are trying to take way more than they should. Obviously, she doesn't want to be someone's meal, and she says none of what she has is for them. But one of the guys looks her up and down and tells her to stop being disrespectful to the seniors. She has to help everyone survive. That's what matters. The guy with glasses tells everyone to calm down and not fight. This isn't the time. Then he asks the protagonist to join them, saying there's another room that's better for a meeting and it's safer. The trio goes ahead while Wang Yu apologizes to the protagonist but says she won't let anyone touch his supplies. He says he doesn't care about those people. He only wants to know if they'll actually help locate the zombie. She says there should be several professors among the survivors, so those guys won't dare do anything crazy. He laughs. Yeah, right? Like they wouldn't do anything. As they walk, the bald guy says, guys, I saw her backpack. It's packed. That could last a month. The black-haired guy says he agrees, but Wang Yu won't accept it. The glasses guy says it's fine. Just put them on the team, and when they start sharing, they take everything where they'll have to accept the other option. Right then, someone opens the door saying they finally arrived. Where are the supplies? The pair walks in and the protagonist sees the room is full of survivors. For things to be this chaotic, this apocalypse, all these zombies, this must have started recently. Then Wang Yu sighs and suddenly sticks her butt out for no reason, and she even says you can't touch it. What do you mean? Oh, she's talking about the supplies. Relax. She says it all belongs to Subai, and the black hair guy wants to know one person. Why does he need so much stuff? But fine, then they'll buy it from him. He goes, hey girl, we'll pay 10 times the store price. You're definitely not going to refuse, right? The protagonist gives that smile like he's about to do something nasty and says no, he won't refuse. Then the guy kneels and says, smart kid, let me see what's in that backpack so I can buy it. But suddenly there's a claw at his neck and the protagonist says unfortunately his friend here isn't in the mood for that. Everyone freaks out, running around asking where the hell that thing came from, while the guy backs away wondering why it looks like the creature isn't attacking Subai. Then the protagonist says the bastard got 2 of his subordinates killed and now he's trying to steal the supplies too. The guy tries to explain, but the protagonist stomps him in the chest and he starts coughing up blood. Then the protagonist says he'll have to kill him and use his corpse to make up for the earlier loss. The guy calls for his friends begging for help, but that's how it goes. Friendship disappears real fast. Everyone starts yelling that it was that idiot's idea to steal the supplies. The poor guy on the floor can't believe he risks so much to get supplies for everyone just to get betrayed like this. He begs 1Q for help, but she stays silent and sighs. I thought she was going to tell him to kill the guy, but instead she asks the protagonist to forgive him this one time. They could take her share of the food and nobody would touch his, but the protagonist stares, realizing this girl is way too weak. She only looks like the 1Q he used to know he has no reason to keep her around anymore. Damn, he's cold, so what, cut her throat, then go on, kill her, I dare you, come on, prove you're the protagonist. And then he stands up and says, alright then, our deal ends here, you found your people and from now on we go our separate ways. She grabs his arm and begs him to wait. She knows exactly where the zombie he's looking for is. He asks if she saw it and she says not exactly. She can feel an aura, a different smell coming from a certain area. She doesn't know why, but she's almost sure he remembers 1Q. The white panties queen had an innate spirit, a super rare body that could sense spiritual energy, and maybe she brought something like that into this world. Next chapter, there by a little wall and a guy asks if the girl found what he asked for. Apparently it was a stick and a long sleeve, and the protagonist asks where Lynn found that. She puts her hands together and says she basically was born knowing because she has a tracking ability and from now on she would be his sword. The protagonist pats her shoulder and says fine, she'll be his second disciple. She has a spiritual body, so she has good potential. Maybe one day she could even surpass him. She says she'd never even dream of that. She just wants to serve by his side and make his life easier. He looks at her like, what is this? Lifts her chin and asks, you're going to call me senior? And she calls him master. Yeah, I'm not even going to tell you what happens next in that temple. But now back in reality, he's furious. He doesn't know how the damn girl lost her memories, but the good part is she can still be killed, and now it's time for the pretty disciple to become part of that banner. He's already thinking about sending her to the other side when she suddenly takes his hand and asks him to trust her. There's a creature coming this way. The poor guy is stunned, laughing up at the sky, thinking how ironic it is. Again, he's in a situation where he needs her. If she really had that innate body, she's perfect for finding creatures. Yeah, that's what you need the body for, you creep. Outside there's a literal giant crocodile saying it can feel a strong presence of spiritual energy. Those weak creatures were useless. It smashes through the wall, freaking everyone out, and the protagonist immediately realizes this is the creature she mentioned, a mutant that's half human, half snake, and it barges right into the room, grabbing people right away. The onlookers want to run while the protagonist just stands there, and 1Q says that's the creature she was sensing. And the weirdest part is it seems to have spiritual energy. The protagonist thinks it's strange. Why would a creature from this world have spiritual energy? That shouldn't exist here. Then the creature says it can smell that energy. My god, all they talk about is energy, but for now it's going to start its banquet with a few humans. It grabs the first one, is about to toss him into its huge throat. Then the young teacher makes an offer, please save us. We'll do whatever you want. He stares and asks what their lives have to do with him. She says she does. may out or visa let all the million AFAs his words age will what he's read we put up away down to Atlanta hey hello but the read and the way are we with him and they'll him the baby to this all with me so advertising the way he said to be sensitive and that be him so he's really he have the rollers right I agree when we was an idea I don't know real to come about they were that really the villager high but when if that been what that's down day we lean it the video stuff really already hit it I'll be the we here with the beaver or any download with that over what her back is when there I'm visiting we meet with the way I met without you yet so it is like to be the area in the hour but if he was near or heard you all when he was in the we leave with me will you never be or fight here but having the me where is a rep here we human the be of the beef from with a better into the with the edited that I was even where then he did the hill like here other bad you have to be to me well over at them who believe him I either go to rebel and he's the horror and these love now with the value of the for levy he was how they agree with his the evil that they were the fault was me for staying I really aim over there as a duty over there they over enjoy the help any net is ours over there advance her at an end the very wars the W in that way we were playing why yeah and he's reading and video that him or he'll like the vote with it and it was right that others would have you will they throw the data over there or something new he really love I was what I throw the who are new they doing about on here help well yeah he's way but every the well the and even the super but they have video of all of it over now me that me over the right and they'll have about and him at you at it and the over the thing that totally go up of the very is a lay it out he was the me I let me go around the whole believe that I don't know every is some days of all it is every but the thing live native around all over the but he that really have you and then again with him the three and right of that a little we meet from 3 or probably over whatever he's no thing I'm either they readily is so tired of the either who and for that he didn't been yet he had the minute of him of the road to the leader the hands if I made it wherever he left over where the body where we in miss we that he let the other hero wherever we had the other ever he that we in the road that they really on the niggas of those that hey with how he's said about how to have if I read the needle like every year over free with the being covered as it is women that items but all within fully in the love of the android is what I have mill but I with it now we were the on that is really will have had the area with that video with any of the following nature over is but he of it really the will that would do but the wheel you that but to is of the letter to the viewer but you have the word they did the whatever that realize over there the way better The thing points at Staff and summons another zombie army while the protagonist's friends ask how they're supposed to deal with this. He's excited for the fight though. Not only can he farm experience from countless souls, he can also put this gay on the banner. He tells the girls to step back because he's got new prey. His goal is to build an army of intelligent, independent creatures. He sends the snake, the zombie, everyone straight in. The blonde kid goes first and throws an attack, but the knight blocks it and immediately realizes the kid seems to be controlling the undead. That kind of power is insanely dangerous. He needs to eliminate someone like that right now. The creature starts cutting loose easily and goes on the offensive while the protagonist realizes this bastard really has serious combat power. Where did an undead like this even come from? Scene changes. We see someone watching the fight from far away thinking he found easy prey, and he calls the boss. A purple shadow appears saying they found a cultivator who controls zombies. The guy gives the order to finish off the kid. Back in the fight, the big skeleton comes in to crush all the girls and the protagonist clings to it. The kid standing there with his eyes closed thinking this creature is way too full of itself if it thinks it can stop him like that. Then he pulls one Q's sword, blocks the big attack, and the monster is confused. A giant cultivator appears in front of them and everyone recognizes it as a divine avatar. The skeleton tries to run from the fight. Get back here. The protagonist asks where the bastard thinks he's going and activates the phoenix cry, launching the bird straight at it and piercing it through the chest. Everyone is shocked. He summoned a phoenix. Then the protagonist activates the banner and chains start wrapping around the skeleton. Congratulations to the user for defeating a commander level creature. Looks like it was basically bossed here because it becomes a boss bar he can control. While the girls are helping him, the skeleton starts talking to him. He didn't even know the spirit could talk. Wait, the spirit now has the spirit of the skeleton he just defeated and it's feeding energy into his back again. The protagonist smiles. He clearly liked the boost. That's literally what he says. He thanks the skeleton for offering that spiritual power.